The crocodile. In the dream arc, the crocodile is one of the 12 guardians, the guardian of the waning moon. I'm going to read you a story. And it's from an amazing man, Bawa Mujahideen. And this was a man who lived in the jungles for many years and emerged from the jungles of Sri Lanka. And when he emerged, no one had heard of him or knew of him or anything, but he was an enlightened man, an incredibly wise, bright man. And he came to the West and eventually formed a foundation, and many people followed him. But he speaks about his life in the jungle and about his relationship with animals. I can look into their hearts and realize the wonder of God's power within them. How great is the power of God! There is so much to learn there, so much to learn about the power of God by looking at each and every one of the animals. Although they are unable to speak, and people consider them to be unintelligent, I have not seen God's power reflected in human beings as I saw it in all the animals when I was in the jungle. There where the power of God is so evident. When I look into the hearts of these animals, I see life resonating. I see it pulsing in them. I do not see the material world in their hearts, just the power of God. The external world does not live in these hearts because animals live moment by moment. They do not worry about tomorrow's food. When they're hungry, they search for the food they need right then. They don't concern themselves about killing or destroying anything for tomorrow. They don't think of planning an attack. They don't think of revenge. This means that when they hear the resonance of God, it pierces their hearts like a pointed shaft. They bend low in quiet reverence when they hear that sound. And then he goes on to say about his time in the jungle, when I needed water in the jungle, I had to go to little ponds where sometimes there were dangerous crocodiles. As I approached, they would run towards the banks of the pond, their jaws wide open and ready to devour me. But when I started walking into the water, they would just stand there, watching without movement. Normally, these dangerous crocodiles seize anything that moves in the water. But I would wade in up to my knees, take a drink or have a bath, and then go and stand at the edge of the pond, singing a song in praise of our Creator. The crocodiles would gather around. All the animals would appear. Even frogs would hop right up to the edge of the pond, all gazing intently, listening carefully, without even a ripple of water. The power of God, the sound of God, has a sweetness which pierces the heart of every living thing. When I would end my song and walk away, perhaps to climb a tree, if I looked back a little later, I could see them still there, waiting a while, then gradually going back to their routines. There were many wonders like this to be seen in the jungle. If a man with the qualities of God goes there, all the animals are his companions. They protect him. But if a man with animal qualities goes there, he is afraid because he is just like them, and they will devour him. This is what it was like in the jungle when I lived there. My children, think about what I've said and understand the point I'm making. May God protect you all. Amen. That's a beautiful story about crocodiles. And, it's about everything. It's about all creatures. It's about what really lies in the hearts of all creatures. And I think it speaks for itself. So I'm really happy to have shared it with you. And consider that when you next think about a crocodile or a spider or a shark or some creature that you perhaps feel afraid of, and really contemplate these words of Bawu, this great saint. And something to really consider.